and welcome to Banking Frontiers Live. As always, we are bringing you some of the best industry leaders to have a conversation with us and enlighten you on some of the new things that are happening with this industry. Today, we have with us Seema Gaur, who is the head of IT at IFCO Tokyo General Insurance. And she is going to share with us some very interesting impact of how technologies like API, AI, or RPA, or any of these innovations are making a great impact on the insurance world. Hello Seema, welcome to Banking Frontiers Live.
Thank you, Babu. It is my privilege to be here.
Seema, you have seen a lot of innovations coming into this sector. It can be RPA-led innovations, it can be AI-led innovations, it can be payment-related innovation, it can be a lot more. What do you think are some of the most interesting innovations that has had an impact on you, or where you see a lot of potential and opportunity for the insurance sector in it?
See, video KYC would be, yes, it is also, we have seen a draft note coming from our regulators, rather GI Council. They are contemplating on it, whether we think of video KYC, but it has to be done in real time. So we could use some sort of AI, but then it relates to more of scanning of the KYC document. In our case, it is Aadhaar. So UIDAI authentication, most of the insurance companies have already got. So from there, you could have other ways of comparing the actual photograph in digital form, not the photo that we see, with the UIDAI records. So that could be compared, and then you could say, okay, this is the way this Aadhaar number or the, because today we do Aadhaar authentication through a mobile number OTP. Secondly, you have fraud analytics, where I see insurance companies, for that matter, any financial company, we can take care of frauds from the pattern analysis, and it could be both supervised learning or unsupervised learning for using various tools which are there, AI tools in the market, through which you could be training your models, and it could be self-learning mode where the fraud cases, both in terms of health and motor, could be caught. So we envisage we may be having some percentage of claims definitely coming as fraud, which can go unnoticed in the absence of any AI model in place. So analytics and AI are today, they have to go hand in hand. It is not that this is only AI and this is only analytics. Any analytics without AI is incomplete, and AI also has some amount of analytics built into it. So this is how they move. And then the other technology that we find is robotic process automation, which majority of the companies, at least in the BFSI sector, have gone for. So RPA also has to have some amount of intelligence built into it. Without that AI portion, the RPA by itself will only be doing some jobs which could have been done through some automation tools previously also. But with the AI in picture, for instance, we have adopted AI where, like as I was saying, motor claims, the surveyors, when they go for survey of beyond the stipulated regulatory requirement, that is 50,000 rupees, big surveys, they get invoices, say, running to 4-5 pages and even to 10-15 pages for commercial vehicles. Now, feeding of those invoices in the system is a big task. So the surveyor, earlier when we had not adopted RPA, used to find the surveyor was devoting about 1/5 of the time per day only feeding of data into the system. So with the adoption of RPA, using of course AI built into it, the surveyor now only has to click the photo of the image of the invoice in the garage or workshop, submit it through the application, and then his job is done. He doesn't have to bother that now that I'm going for survey to some other workshop and so on. By the end of the day, I have to sit and feed the data. He is no longer bothered about it. So this is where, without the use of AI, we do have RPA tools, we do have OCR tools in place, but with the use of AI, we could now be scanning pictures or images also, and then making the bot work on it. Without AI, of course, you do have OCR tools, but then those are not perfectly successful. So to have complete success, that is also one area. And then AI is of course going to be used for natural language processing. We do have contact centers where the IVR so far used to only talk about, they will talk English, Hindi, motor, health, claim or policy, business. But then when you come to the actual customer engagement, where you find that, okay, we need to retain this customer, the customer experience, there the system should be in a position to talk to your backend data and convert it into voice or text or auto speech recognition that we say, understand what the customer is saying. Suppose he's spelling out his policy number or the claim number, to give that customer immediate response without any human intervention. So that there also we find that yes, you do have to use some amount of intelligence built into it. Without the AI piece in between, even the auto speech recognition is incomplete. So these are various places where I find AI could play a big role. Apart from, yes, you could have even property being underwritten remotely through videos, and not only videos, you could have a repository of information lying with you where the fresh pictures could be compared, and then you could estimate, yes, this is the as far as I am concerned, this could be the risk that I is being estimated, could be a proposed risk related to this asset or the property. So that is all for the future. I mean, there's a lot of scope of AI, and as we grow, we will see, we will be using it. Maybe 1 year down the line or 2 year down the line, I'll be talking to you in those lines.
Correct.
Thanks for sharing your idea on innovations, Seema. But if you see what is happening in the recent times, is that there has been a lot of impact or a lot of emphasis on things which are phygital, and industry leaders are talking about it because not every customer is very aligned to be totally digital. In fact, customers are not very comfortable when sharing their personal details when it comes to sharing things to a robot. So, how do you balance this act of a physical person plus a digital technology put together and make it a phygital impact so that it can be the best of both the worlds? Can you share some experiences from your side?
Yeah, recently, yes, we did find that, especially in case of health policies, and the youngsters or the millennials are okay, they could buy it without any human support required. Whereas beyond a certain age, or maybe like my age, or so that when you go for buying a health policy per se, there we have a questionnaire built in, and a person has to fill in. But still, they feel that they should be talking to a live agent. So the bot is there. We have just embarked on WhatsApp bot also. So the chat is taking place, but still they feel, no, I should be having a live agent speaking to me. So that option that connect to the live agent is being used quite often. So that cultural change will take time, but yes, as we see the millennials, they talk to the bot and they buy the policy and they walk on. Whereas people of certain age group, or the we people, the previous generation, we feel that yes, the live agent or the human being talking to them, we feel convinced. But this will definitely change with time, because now that we have got securities in place and that cyber laws are coming to be stringent, the trust in the systems, the machineries, or the digital processes would definitely go up now, and we will see people having not having any hesitation in spelling out their PAN number, for that matter, or any other personal identification information.
So, Seema, thanks for sharing your information on Phygital. Ultimately, what is all this? This is all something called as an experience. Now, you are not a retail, at the same time, you are a very, very focused B2B or very impactful insurance company. and your interaction with the customer is not more than once or twice during the year at a normal course of time, either during the time of renewal of premium or acquisition of the customer or when there is a claim. So how are you redefining the experience for this customer, entering into his life on a day-to-day basis and trying to see how you can make a difference to the life of the customer? Because ultimately, if you don't enhance the experience of the customer, it will not create that kind of impact. Can you share some thoughts on bettering the experience with the customer?
See, we have used some amount of automation wherein like greeting the customer on his or her birthday, which is very common, a New Year greeting, and sometimes we embark on cross sell. We have certain seasons, like there are some products which are mainly meant for specific seasons. Like now we have got the COVID products in place. When I say product, means it is insurance product. And then you have mosquito bites, so vector borne diseases, no, like mosquito bite, dengue and chikungunya and all. So during those period, we do cross sell to our customers. So what we do is we send them SMS. Of course, they are all generated from the data analytics and given to the customers that you are our loyal customer for the so many years. You are having a motor policy or whatever policies with us, and why not try this product? So we are now embarking upon WhatsApp messages and also sharing documents through WhatsApp, because we used to share links with them, SMS with them, but now we feel that since majority of the people are using WhatsApp as a messaging tool, so why not engage with them through that? And they could be asked to come on a landing page if they have some interest, and then that could generate leads out of the system. So generation of leads, prospective leads, new leads, or cross sell and upsell, I feel we are using automation, and AI can definitely play a role there also.
So, Seema, one of the most defining moments in the business of insurance is when the customer is putting on a claim. And that is also one of the testing times, because ultimately he puts a claim when he is at a major trouble most of the time. A delay in claim means total customer dissatisfaction. How are you working with your TPAs or with your claims departments and your customers on reducing the turnaround time for your claims, or at the same time bettering the claims experience for your customer? What kind of technologies are you using? Is it AI? Is it RPA? Is it anything else? Can you just share us how the insurers are re-looking at the claims and settlements perspective?
See, we are working on something where we would be using analytics, RPA, AI all put together for quick settlement of health claims. Especially when the patient is waiting to be discharged, the pre-authorization, most of the companies have done it for quick. But when the patient is waiting to be discharged, you have such a big, thanks to the multi-speciality hospitals, you get big invoices, big fat invoices coming from the hospitals. Now those have to be fed into the system. There is a tariff which is agreed upon. We have cashless hospitalized settlement. So that is something which takes time, and we have been able to reduce it to 2 to 3 hours, but then making the patient wait even for that much time should be avoided and can be avoided. So we are working on those lines where the moment the invoices come, those invoices are scanned and put into the relevant buckets in the system where proper analytics could be done, and the system approves the invoice without the intervention of any. Today we do engage medical practitioners to see if everything is okay, and give the approval within minutes. So we are working on those lines, because the scanning of the document, and there are various placeholders, like you have pathologies test somewhere else, you have the room rent somewhere else to be placed, you have the surgery related charges elsewhere, your medicines and other prescriptions elsewhere. So all those have to be put into relevant placeholders where they have to be analyzed and seen that yes, they are following the standards, the tariff that has been agreed upon. and anything which is not billable or not payable. We do have such instances. All of us have, at least at our age, we have been hospitalized or admitted in hospitals. So we understand there are certain pieces which they say is not covered under insurance. So matching of the insurance underwriting clauses with the bill, that requires intelligence. You just, without, I mean, our human beings are doing it. We have people who look at the clauses which have been agreed at the time of policy issuance, and the claim which is finally coming at the time of discharge. So every place you have, some of the other deviation which has to be verified. So this is where we are working upon, and let us see how soon we can do it, because if you keep yourself in the place of the patient and you see you are waiting to be discharged just because the insurance company has not given clearance, it is painful. So
Absolutely.
we are working for that.
Thank you very much, Seema. I think you have shared a whole new length and breadth of information, right from innovations to the technologies that would make sense for us, to that of how you can better the experience to the customer. We look forward to knowing more and more interesting thoughts and perspectives from you in the coming future. I would like to profusely thank for sharing all these insights, and we look forward to have you in the future as well.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.